What's up guys, today I'll be interviewing the Indonesia champion, Jonah Xavier, who won with a deck that either player hate or love, Night March. So before going into the interview, I would like to show you his deck list. This is it, the Night March list that Jonah Xavier played. He won the Indo Nationals. Pretty simple list, no gimmick about it. One meal, I don't know why, which I will ask him later. And no basic energy to come with the meal also. So how is he gonna face Giratina? And it sort of defeats the purpose of meal, I think, in my opinion. So, but other than that, his list is quite consistent and I quite like it. So let's jump straight to the interview. Hi Jonas, congrats on your win in the Indo Nationals. Quite an awesome season for you. You won the first Southeast Asia Expanded Regionals with Night March, and now you use it again to win your Nationals. How did the two buys from Regionals benefit you?
It benefit me as I only need to win 2 more rounds to get into top cut.
2 more rounds, okay.
Yeah.
Did it affect your deck choice?
No, because since the beginning of standard format, I always play Night March for events.
I see, okay. So it seems like you always perform with Night March. Are you a die-hard fan of Night March?
I just think it's the best deck in the format for standard.
I see. I saw your list. You only run like 1 meal in your deck from Fate's Collide with no basic energy. What is your strategy with meal?
Mew is a nice extra attacker, and it's a free retreat Pokemon. And I was actually thinking of running the similar list to Expanded, where I run some basic energy, but I didn't have time to test it out. So I just decided to run a straightforward list with 1 Mew.
I see. Then how about that one single Hex Maniac? Do you think it's enough for Greninja decks?
Yeah, I think it's enough with 4 VS Seeker and 4 Puzzle of Time. And actually, against Greninja, I'm more afraid of the multiple Jirachis than them
sniping
streaming Greninjas, because they need 2 turns to evolve, right? Once they water duplicate. So I think 1 Hex Maniac should be enough.
I see. So what's your strategy behind the Jirachi that they play? They always like play 2, right?
Yes. Mostly I run the 1 escape rope, so I can use the escape rope Lysander combo sometimes, and sometimes just lay back 1 turn when they Stardust me.
I see. Okay. Then what's your strategy when you face Mirror?
Mirror match, usually conserve your Puzzle of Times and play conservatively. Do not overextend and try to bench less shaymins. And if a turn they get to attack with Joltik, I can capitalize by Sky returning. Basically just conserve the DCE as much as possible.
I see. So it's a conserving DCE war kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about if you face like the Bane of all Night March deck, Toad with FFB? Yeah.
Actually, for Toad Tina, you have the Xeroxic, right?
Yeah, Xeroxic.
So you can hope to slow them for 1 turn. But the hard matchup is the Water Toolbox Toad deck, the one that runs Max Elixir, Mana Fee, and all basic energy. That's a quite harder matchup. But luckily, nobody plays that in Indonesia Nationals.
So have you tested against it?
Yes, the 1 turn where you get to play items, it's very important. You have to dump as many Night March as possible against that matchup, because the Xeroxic won't help against that matchup. Maybe just to discard the Fighting Fury belts.
So under trainer lock, right, how do you try to get out your DCE?
Under trainer lock?
Yeah, like let's say you have 18 Pokemon. I mean, you can hit a total number of 180 on your turn 1 for
Yes.
water box. Then
Okay.
how do you make sure that your DC is always in hand to like keep up the exchange?
Keep up the exchange. Maybe against the water box can firstly do the sky return loop first to soften up the toad with fighting fury belt, and then later just attach the DCE. If they end me, I have a higher chance to draw into the DCE because all my shamans are in the deck.
Nice. Okay. Um, how about Trevenant break decks?
Trevenant is a much harder matchup, and yeah, just pray to draw the Hex or Lysander for that matchup. But I don't think it's a really popular choice at the moment, Trevenant.
I see. Okay. So in Indonesia nationals, right? Is there any players that you want to avoid or you consider as threat?
Of course, Tito, he's a beast. He always top cut everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know how to stop him also. Like, so what's your strategy behind facing Tito in, like, let's say a match? Are you
Uh,
ready to?
he's he's playing an Aromatisse Toad deck, right? So
Yeah.
it's mostly slower compared to decks like Totina and the Water Box deck.
Mm,
So and it runs a lot of special energies also.
mm.
So you can take advantage of the Roxic, and against that deck you usually have 1 to 2 turns with items, and I think that's enough to be able to capitalize.
I see. Nice. Okay, the Wolves meta rumored to have the new set Steam Siege in it. Are you excited about it?
Yeah, it's okay. Helps Night March quite a bit with the special charge trainer. You
Uh
can
huh.
return your DCEs.
Nice. That
But the one thing that's I'm waiting for is whether Karen is gonna be printed in the set.
okay.
If
So
Karen is gonna be printed, Night March deck, I think it's over for Night March.
I would say it won't affect so much because there's still puzzle of time and you can puzzle of time your two compressor and stuff. So we will see about it. Okay, how about do you think Steam Siege will benefit other decks as well, other from Night March?
I haven't read all the cards, but I'm pretty sure if Karen is gonna be in the set, Greninja will be better, as
Mm,
because Karen checks Vespiquen Vileplume,
mm,
which is one of the worst matchup for Greninja.
right, nice. So speaking of Greninja, what do you think of Iwei's 4 Super Rod Greninja deck?
That's an interesting build, but he won nationals with it, so it works for him. So
Yeah, that's true.
yes.
Okay, how about any shout out to anyone?
Yes, I want to shout out Tito and Edwin, my friend from Indonesia.
Okay,
Just
what you want?
greetings to them. Just
Okay,
say
hi
hi.
Tito and Win. Alright, thank you, the Inu champion. I will see you at Worlds.
See you.
Yeah, see you. Bye bye.
And now let's see how the Indonesia champ deck flares. Really excited. It's been a while since I played Night March. Grass Psychic. Grass Psychic colorless. Who can it be? The key I'm playing Night March, I guess, is how many compressors you can draw. And since I'm starting first, okay. such bad hands. Let's see what my free card is. Oh, compressor. But that's like 2 shaymin down. I'm gonna compress where's my lantern. 1, 2. With a professor signal because I don't have any spotter. I'll take the sycamore, but not this turn because there's a DC in here. And I'll pass. 3 is good enough for Jonah to knock out shaymin-ex. Okay, I'm guessing Scepter? Oh, he just end me. Could it be a dong? No. Ultra Ball for Hoopa? No, shaymin. Grass energy. Interesting. Till now, I don't know what deck she's playing. Except that. Okay. As long as there's no Volplum, we are good. Let's see. 1 shaymin price, 2 VS Seeker. Such. Okay, I got a VS Seeker and a compressor. Interesting. I think I'll go for the safe play since there's 2 VS Seeker in the price and I already used 1, so that's the last VS Seeker, but I still have 3 compressors. Okay. Show 2 lanterns and a Pankabu. To reach the damage, I need 8 Pokemon with a FFB. Now I have 7. So yeah. Oh, I forgot. I just VS Seeker. Sycamore back in my deck. So dumb. Okay, here not. There's another compressor, but it's too late. We can take prizes. There's no point. Okay. 120 damage. Can he knock me out? And thanks. Subtle bets. Looks like my Jonah is going for the Q. choose my pass. I'll take the Night March and Effort Stone since I have the Sycamore. Nope, and teammates, there's no point for me to take the VS Seeker. I will keep it for later unless he end me this turn. Poison Giant Hunt. The reason for me not putting two Fighting Fury Belt together is because I'm afraid of the Megaphone. And yeah, to put the Fighting Fury Belt here is to prevent the Go Back from killing my Joking. Cheap 5. Unless he can pull off the Megaphone and Go Back combo. Is he going for that? And he is. Okay. Still got my DC, still got my free belt. Okay. Six Pokemon. Rados. Looking at his deck, I don't think he plays Enhanced Hammer. Oh. Okay. I gotta see what can I draw from. Ultra Ball. Lysander. Ultra Ball will put me, yeah. Take the Ultra Ball. Plus it will give me the Q on the Mega Scepter. I mean the Scepter. For the Mew. MVP. Okay. I have no hand. But I got a kill. So I will take my Shaymin and Seeker. Next turn I just need a compressor for me to send the Shaymin. Pretty fast. Quite consistent. Third end. What? Ahead. You're not. I still have Mew. That's why I prepared him for. So yeah. Goodbye Joting. It's just not Anthony. Okay. He has nothing on his bench to knock me out. So I'm just gonna buy one turn. Go back. Yeah, I'm just gonna buy one turn for my Sycamore. So that he can't bite my Jotik. I stop his spread. Okay. Now yeah. Okay, I got puzzle time, watchable, target whistle, but I don't have the VS seeker. It's okay. Nope. There's no point of target whistle in this matchup since I left with one prize. So I'm gonna just put out a pump kaboo. 30, 20, alright. Going for a compressor. I don't need hand anymore. I'm thinning my deck so that if he ends me again, I got it now. Okay, one shaymin. Okay, 13 cards. It's time to Sky Return, no, not much. So if he don't kill my mill this turn, I'm gonna win. Still going for the Joker. Right hander, shaymin, and he's gonna pass. So I got the DC, but anyway, I was going for teammates. Teammates for Puzzle of Time to get the escape rope. That's it. Awesome. So that's it. I think I don't have to further explain. It's a Night March deck, so going for speed and hoping that you don't get trainer lock before you draw into the compressors is how you play Night March. And that's all for me for this week. Remember to like, subscribe, and if you like this video, please share and comment below if you have any question. Till next time, see ya! Bye!